Hello, this is Andrew from Fantasy 8, and I'm joined by James here to talk about the 2016 trade deadline.
Hey,
James here runs his own Cubs channel, Cubby Knoll. You should definitely check it out. He podcasts a lot about them.
usually when I'm angry over a game, but I guess let's jump right into it. I guess starting with last night, we thought Jonathan LaCroix was going to the Indians, but what's happened there as of this hour, Andrew?
I read Lucroy has vetoed the trade, and that's really surprising to me. I thought it was a foregone conclusion he'd go there.
Now I thought maybe it was money, but why do you think he said no?
Uh, there's besides money, I can't really come up with a good reason. I mean, it's not the. I mean, I understand why he had them on the no trade list in the first place,
Oh
but
yeah,
they were bad back then. Obviously, they've got a great team with a great pitching staff.
yeah. I just don't get it. I mean, and his contract is what it is. Was he hoping that wherever he get traded, despite being under contract for another year, that this offseason he would try and renegotiate. And he figured if the Indians are the one he's renegotiating with, they probably weren't going to pony up the dough. Yeah, I'm really not sure,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it's interesting to see.
his option is $5.25 million next year, which is insanely low.
Oh yeah, big time. And it's weird to think Cleveland has so far to this point in the eve of the trade deadline is they're like the hub of the blockbusters going down. It's weird to think that.
Right. And
And
obviously, the Indians
go
they just got Miller.
Yeah, that was the other domino to fall. Now, me as a Cubs fan, I've already seen some, I think, idiotic people saying, "Oh my God, look what the Indians gave up for, Miller." I'm like, yeah, they gave up more. What's
Yeah.
your thoughts?
I thought I was surprised because I felt like that's paying more than what they had tried to pay for Lucroy because obviously Clint Frazier is one of their top prospects. Uh, I'm really wondering. I'm wondering what this does to Frazier's timetable because he had a chance to be up in September with the Indians. I'm wondering what the Yanks are going to do with him.
Now, you're more into prospects than I am because you have more experience playing dynasty leagues and whatnot. What is his career projection? What type of player could Frazier be?
Frazier is a good power speed combo. His biggest weakness, and which is why he's not up right now, is he has a real problem with strikeouts. But a lot of young guys do. But he can steal and he can hit for power. Maybe in the future, something like a 2020 guy.
And do you know anything about the other big guy, Sheffield? Do you know anything about him?
I don't. I haven't heard of him.
Jerry Krasnick, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that, just tweeted the Indians might shift to maybe a Suzuki, a Norris, or a Ruiz. It's
Oh
not very sexy there, but
no.
the tweets just keep rolling in. I mean, so far this morning it's been all about the Indians. I keep looking for. Well, I checked that. Your Cardinals made a move. What do you think about the Zach Duke edition?
Uh, it's not. It's a classic John Mozeliak move. Get something cheap. Don't go big.
Hmm.
I
What's
mean,
his
Duke's pretty
stats on the
good.
year? Do you know like roundabout what his stats are on the season? Duke's, that is.
I just looked it up now. He's got a 2.63 ERA in 37 innings with 42 Ks. I mean, not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. All right, Buster Olney just chimes in with another tweet. Sources, those famous sources. Effort to convince LaCroix to change his mind and accept Cleveland trade will continue. Dot dot dot.
Hmm.
I, I mean, if he winds up going nowhere, that would be kind of anticlimactic. I'm really
Right.
curious to see. And if he does, at this part, a rhetorical question. If he does indeed change his mind and go there with Miller, would you say Cleveland is the clear-cut AL favorite?
Yes, definitely. I mean, with the pitching they already have and pitching wins playoffs, and they don't have bad hitting. I mean, Kipnis is probably having a career year, and obviously
Yeah.
they have Lindor.
And they got some power with Napoli, even though he's not a great all around player.
Right.
But Reese he brings power to it. So now, you reading any other rumors recently? I know you kind of just started your day, but
Yeah. Uh, I mean, I've heard, obviously the Rangers are still trying to get a starter. I've heard Vince Velasquez's name, Hellickson's name, but Hellickson left the game with an injury yesterday, I think, something with his hand.
hmm
So that could affect anything there. Really, when you look at the starting pitcher market, it's pretty ugly. I mean, you got
yeah,
Tampa
it's
Bay.
nasty.
I mean, they got like three starters that could potentially be moved, but I'd be surprised. I mean, I could see more getting moved, but I'd be surprised seeing any of the others moved.
Yeah, and another smaller move. The Yanks got Tyler Clippard. Wee.
Yeah, I saw that. Uh,
How much of Betances do you have? How many shares? You got to like his saves going forward.
oh yeah, I actually do have quite a few. I would draft him in roto leagues just because of the strikeouts, even though he wouldn't get saves. And
hmm
now that I'll get both, that'll be nice.
Now I was asking Tristis in the chat on fantasysportsaddicts.com. If you're into fantasy sports and you like chit chatting about baseball, football, anything, go to fantasysportsaddicts.com. It's a cool place to hang out. Anyways, I was asking him because I have Betances in one of my ESPN leagues without you guys. I need starting pitching. What kind of starting pitcher could Betances, what could I get back? What do you think? Like just ballpark, your guess, type of.
Obviously, it would depend on league and size and stuff.
12th inning redraft.
Yeah. Betances. I mean, he's got to be a top five closer now.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, there's one particular team in this league that his closers are not very good because he got screwed by the Chapman trade. He had
Mm,
Rendon, so he's looking for closers, and I tried to shoot the moon and offered Betances for Carrasco. Now I would reject that, but
yes.
I don't know what kind of pitcher I could give. Anyways, enough about my silly teams. Um, some other rumors I've read is the ones you mentioned, the Rays,
Mhm.
Odorizzi and Moore and Archer. I don't see Archer moving.
I don't either.
Um, the Dodgers have been rumored for a lot of stuff, but
Jay Bruce, I heard they're
yeah,
considering. Also, athletics help Josh Reddick.
there you go. The Reddick and the A's. I thought Valencia would be gone. I thought, the aforementioned Reddick would be gone. I did read a rumor this morning that Hill very well could get traded despite him being on the DL right now. So I guess we could look
Right.
out for that. I mean, here we are, just a little more than 24 hours to go. I'm curious to see just what kind of dominoes fall, and I don't know what kind of surprise trade. There's always seems like one like out of nowhere, what the heck trade.
Right. I think that was the Matt Kemp deal
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah, that was strange. I mean, I know the Padres saved a ton of money, but I don't understand the Braves like incentive.
Right. They
I
they
don't
seem to like gathering aging outfielders. Now Nick Markakis, now Matt Kemp.
because Kemp's got to be in his 30s by now, right?
Yeah, and he's got that arthritis issue. Like I wouldn't even want to touch him.
No, yeah, I don't get that at all. Yeah, the tweets keep rolling in here looking for other stuff. In general, it's just strange to think Cleveland's buying and New York Yankees are selling. Are we in like
Right.
Bizarro world?
One team I'm hoping will do something, and by do something I mean sell, is the Colorado Rockies because they got to make room in their outfield.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people on Twitter last night that are coming up with fake sources, likely, but there was a lot of Rockies Cubs talks, like Blackman and a young starting pitcher. None of it seemed to have any like actual, I don't know, legitimacy behind them. But yeah, you would think they'd try and move one of their outfielders.
Right, because they
But
got
then,
Clara on
but
a rehab assignment right now.
yeah, but then again, they could look to add. I think they're 12-4 since the break.
Yeah, they're actually I think they reached 500 yesterday. I heard they were a mix of buying and selling, that they looked at both markets. I just want them to do it for fantasy purposes because, I mean, Dahl has a 6-game hitting streak and he's only played in 6 games so far, 2 home runs. And I'm just hoping, because when Parr comes back, his playing gets complicated.
Yeah, I don't know if who they'd sell or what they'd sell. I think they're only 4 back now, so I mean they're of the wild card. That is, they're right in it.
Right.
Some bad luck. Go ahead, sorry.
They're kind of like Miami. Miami's already bought a bunch, and I'm surprised that they could because they don't really have prospects.
Yeah, they just had Ray. I don't know how to pronounce it for sure. He got hurt yesterday. He's already on the DL. The Marlins just picked him up in a trade. He's already hurt.
And of course, Kastner is unrecognizable now because of their beard policy.
I forgot because Mattingly. That is so stupid to me.
Yeah.
That is, I don't get that. Well, so far, what do you think the biggest deal's been so far this month,
Uh,
or most
big,
impactful?
probably the closer trades, Chapman and Miller.
Yeah, yeah,
I
I'd
mean,
say
you
those are
had
probably the
two
two
good
easiest.
closers lose their jobs, and Rondon, and presumably Allen lost his job with the Miller trade.
Yeah, there's got to be no way Allen continues to close. Just no way. And I'm wondering if, because Cleveland might just be all in this year, if they try and like recoup some of what they gave up in prospects and try and like flip Miller in the offseason.
That could possibility because if I'm correct, he's got 3 years left
Two
on
after
it.
two
Two.
more after this one.
Okay. Yeah. No, I
So I
mean they have a
mean,
pretty good chance next year too. I mean they're not losing any of their key players, I think, in that rotation.
yeah. As far as I know, they're not. So I'm really curious. I wish would have happened. I think I said this before. I wish the Marlins had a bad year. I would love to see the teams going crazy for Jose Fernandez right
Oh
now.
yeah.
That would
Can you
be
imagine what it would take to get
ridiculous.
him in this starting pitching market?
Oh my God, yes. Uh, but honestly, I mean, teams would do it, of course, given
Oh
his
yeah.
talent and his age. Like I would give up Schwarber and I don't know 3 other people. I don't care what it would take.
Right. I'd be like, I don't know. I might even like just part with Biscotti or something for him. I mean, Jose Fernandez is Jose Fernandez.
Yeah, I mean, if he stays healthy, he's like probably has a Hall of Fame trajectory if he can stay healthy. The strikeouts, the ERA, he's just 23. Like it's ridiculous. Okay, we got something else coming in. This is from Jeff Passan. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that, from Yahoo. Sources: LaCroix wanted Indians to rip up the 17 club option to get him to the
Ah,
no trade
yeah,
clause. And
that
of
makes
course,
sense.
yeah. And Cleveland said no.
And Diamondbacks are getting Vicente Campos for Clippard. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, I'm not a huge prospect guy as far as like knowing who's who, except for like the upper echelon guys.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I guess that's all that's really out there is the Rays pitchers and not much else. I mean, like I keep waiting for more stuff to come in, but
right.
um, okay, well, let's talk about our teams. You're a Cub. Sorry, I'm a Cub. You're a Card. Who
Hmm.
did you want the Cardinals to acquire in a trade?
Well, I wanted Miller or Chapman, but
Mhm.
seeing how much they gave up, I don't. I mean, I'm not. I don't know if I'd want to pay that for him,
Mhm.
especially Chapman, just because he's an FA, and
Yeah.
I'd rather have Miller. But it seems like I don't know. It seems like they gave up a little bit more for Miller just because Fraser's almost MLB ready. So
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
Torres is obviously a ways away.
Yeah, he is. I wanted Miller just because the 2 more years.
Yeah,
I'm not going to complain about Chapman, obviously, but yeah, I was really hoping for Miller. But
I was
oh,
pretty happy to see the Chapman blew the lead yesterday.
Oh man, I actually caught that. I didn't watch the game. I had family, but then I turned it on right at that moment when he came in. I'm like, oh yeah, Chapman versus fuck, what was it, Leonis Martin? Like,
Yeah.
give me a break, you know? And then he slaps the double in the gap. I'm like, and then after that, it was like a comedy of errors, like a wild pitch, probably should have been a pass ball because how do you try and backhand a 100-mile-an-hour fastball?
Right.
And and then there was like another error, and it was yeah. But like we were talking about, it seems like the Cubs and Cardinals just keep matching each other lately.
Yeah. And I think now with the Pirates selling stuff that it's basically a two-person division now.
Yeah, I would have to say so. I mean, Melanson to the Nats, that's not bad. He's undervalued. I know he's not the sexy strikeout guy, but
Right,
the
but
Nats, he gets it done.
he really I know he has like insanely low home run rates. Like he doesn't give up the long ball.
Yeah, so I mean, the Nats were already dangerous. They just became a little more, which is
And
cool to see.
Tony Watson's going to be a good closer. He's been a really good reliever the past 2 years.
Oh yeah, I've had him in holds leagues the past couple of years, so I actually don't think I have any of them right now, but I'm sure people are scrambling for him right now if he's available.
I had him in a holds league. I needed him because I now have uh, three holds guys and six closers in a 16-team dynasty where I can
Hmm.
only play six relievers. So there's three guys on my bench, but I can't drop the holds guys because I need the holds, and I can't drop a closer. It's a complicated situation.
So you just kind of play holds guys based on like matchups, kind of,
Yeah, it's
or
like I'll build up my saves lead early in the week, and then I'll just sub in my holds guys.
yeah, I'm similar situation with the Patances thing I was telling you about. It's a league in which you just have three relief pitching slots, but I have four relief pitchers because one of them's Colome, who has the starting pitching eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the Betances came closer today, essentially, I was like seeing what I could move him for, but I might just wind up standing pat. And I have a starting pitching streaming slot where I just might do what you're doing and just build up saves and then stream a holds guy or something
Yeah,
for the weekend. But we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see
happened to
if
me
it's.
last year too. I mean, it's a good problem to have. Had too many closers, but
Yeah, yeah. Wait a minute. Clint Frazier. I'm not so high on him anymore. I just found out he's a ginger. I just see him. He has red hair and red beard. Okay, so the Yankees got hosed on that one. Just kidding.
oh yeah, definitely.
Let's see what else is going on here.
I mean, speaking of outfitters, do you think they'll move Beltran?
They got to. I mean, maybe no one's biting on. I mean, maybe his market's limited because national leagues are just like national league teams are probably thinking, I don't want him running around my outfield.
Right.
So maybe that's what's like holding it back. I've also read Nova is on the block, Pineda, Evaldi, which you hear all those names, you're like, God, like you said earlier, this market for starting pitchers is garbage.
Right, definitely.
It's so bad. But we'll see.
Looking, I wasn't familiar with Beltran. I knew he was having a good year, but I mean, he's batting 301 with 21 home runs.
Oh no, he's killed it. Like I was surprised too. Like I
Yeah.
saw him get picked up in leagues. I'm like,
Maybe
okay.
because of that, the Yankees might be asking for too much, but
Yeah, I think they could be. At least they were smart enough to realize like they weren't going to make the playoffs.
right.
You
They
know,
needed to rebuild.
and I think they had lost 3 games in a row after yesterday, and I guess maybe that tipped the scales.
If one of the Yankees rotations is traded, it seems like Severino could be in the rotation. Obviously, he was a giant disappointment the first time around, but I'll definitely be watching him to see how he does.
Yeah, I was kind of keeping an eye on that too. I mean, most of us were high on him, and we all got burned pretty much.
Right.
And I don't even think I have him in. the only dynasty I'm in. So like
I don't have him in any league.
anything, okay, yeah. So that's something I couldn't even hold on him anywhere. Yep, I always paired him and Matt's in most drafts. I was like two New York kids. Well, at least one of them worked out for the most part. But I'm curious to see when Matt's gets shut down. I mean, do you think he gets shut down at some point?
I think it really depends on what happens with the rest of the Mets rotation. I mean, especially Syndergaard. Like if something happens to Syndergaard, they really can't afford to shut him down.
Hmm. Yeah, the Mets just have tough luck with injury this year. I
Hmm.
mean, good God, their lineup, Harvey. Who knows what's going to happen with Syndergaard and Matt's elbow? There's another guy that I didn't even think about. I only own him on one team, but Fulmer, he could be shut down possibly. What do you think?
Uh, yeah, I would guess he is. He would be eventually.
So do you try and move him now? I mean, like,
I personally, if I could get something of value for Fulmer or Vince Velasquez for the Phillies, because I think he'll be shut down too, I probably would. And
yeah.
plus, Fulmer's a good pitcher, but he wasn't as good as he had that stretch. So
Oh yeah, he was incredible for that stretch of time. I just want to see I'm greedy. I want to see another Cubs move. Dang it. I just, they don't have to make a move. I just kind of want to see one.
with the Cardinals, the issue is they don't need to upgrade their bench. Their bench is, I think, hit the most home runs out of any MLB bench this year.
Mm,
Uh, Zach Duke solidifies a bullpen that was pretty good in the first place. Not elite, but good. And I feel like we could use a starting pitcher, but there's no one to really bump out of the rotation either.
yeah, that's one thing that comes to mind when similarities between the Cubs and Cards. They've had some good health this in the starting pitching rotation.
I mean, maybe bump out Jaime Garcia. I mean, I've been frustrated with him lately, but
Mm,
but anyone you're going to trade for, maybe besides one of the good Tampa pitchers, isn't as good as Garcia.
Miller. Bet you aren't sad to see him go at this point.
Yeah.
Martinez, maybe I'm mistaken, but I think Martinez has been kicking ass lately, hasn't he?
Yeah. Carlos Martinez has been our best pitcher along with Wainwright. I'm really excited to see him pitch today against the Marlins.
Yeah, the Cubs play the Marlins starting tomorrow, and that's the other thing that keeps flip flopping. Um, Cards will play a good team, Cubs will play a bad one, and then it flips again. The Cubs
Yeah.
will play a good one. Now the Cardinals, I'm guessing they're probably gonna play a crap team next. I don't know.
I don't remember who they're gonna play. I'll look it up. Right now the Marlins and the Cardinals are tied for the second wild card spot. So whoever wins today is officially one game ahead of the other one.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I think if it's obvious statement, but if their farm system was any kind of good, it would have been like the Marlins of '97 and '03. They would have probably gone more nuts at this deadline. But
This is the Cardinals' next 9 games.
okay, go ahead.
At Cincinnati Reds for 3 games.
Jeez.
At home against the Braves.
Oh dear.
At home against the Reds.
All right, so they can maybe make up some ground. I know,
And
like I said,
then right after that Red Series, they meet the Cubs for 4 games in
oh,
Chicago.
4 games. Oh man, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be really fun. Like I said, I know the Cubs have the Marlins starting tomorrow. I can see who they got for the 2 series after that, but yeah, that's a good little 9 game stretch for the Cardinals there.
It is.
Um, Not too bad after the Marlins, Oakland, and LA Angels. So that's not bad.
And it gets better after the Cubs. I mean, we pit the Astros, who are a pretty decent team. But then we get the Phillies. Then we get the Mets, but then we get the Athletics and the Brewers. So August is a pretty good schedule for
Mm,
us.
yeah, it's pretty much okay for the Cubs. I'm looking Oakland, LA Angels, Brewers, Padres, and then you have some okay to good teams: Pittsburgh, LA, and St. Louis, obviously, and Miami. So it's kind of like 50-50 good and bad teams.
September's kind of meh. I mean, you got teams like the Reds and the Brewers, but then you also got the Rockies, the Giants, and we play the Cubs for 6 games. And
Yeah, that'll be huge. You got the 3-game series, Cards Cubs, last week of the year, basically.
yeah,
Nearly the last week of the year. Who knows? Something could be on the line. Perhaps a pie to one of our faces.
who are the last two for the Cubs?
Last two series
Yeah.
are Pittsburgh 4 games, Cincinnati 3 games.
Okay, so it's reverse for the Cardinals. They have Cincinnati for 4, Pirates for 3.
Okay, so I mean, at this point, they're going to be similar with all the divisional foes.
Yeah,
Okay, let me hop back on Twitter real quick, see if there's anything else going down. Just a bunch of LaCroix crap.
yeah. I'm seeing them still a lot of Miller talk.
Yeah, nothing big there. No, well, Heyman pretty much is saying, yeah, LaCroix's just not going to be an Indian. It's not going to be reworked.
Yeah.
Rosenthal tweets, Indian source on LaCroix, we've moved on. So, who do you think maybe re-enters the fray for LaCroix? What teams?
The Mets were mentioned, the Rangers, and the Astros. All three of those were mentioned.
Who do you think has the bigger need out of those three for him?
Uh, I mean, the Rangers have a pretty bare catcher. I mean, they have Chirinos who can hit a home run, but none of their guys can hit for average or anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Castro's been good in the past, but he hasn't been good in the past 2 years. And then obviously Denard is not working out in New York.
No, he was. I think he wasn't he a sleeper in this fantasy
He
preseason.
was.
Yeah, I, he's just injury prone. I stayed away. Thank God.
Yeah. All of those guys could really use a catcher upgrade. Obviously, I think the Rangers have the best prospects to get him.
Yeah, they have to make something huge. You would think today, right?
I mean, they have to. They have such a logjam with their players. I mean, Gallo, Profar. They've got good guys in the minors. Nick Martin. So I mean,
I've heard Mazzara even be dangled, depending on who.
yeah, I heard that the White Sox wanted Mazzara and Gallo for sale, something like that.
I mean, if if trying to win now, obviously I'd do it.
Yeah,
I'd do it in a heartbeat. Do you think Sale gets dealt by
no,
tomorrow afternoon? Yeah, I don't think so either.
I would be pretty shocked.
And some delusional Cubs fans are keep mentioning that. I'm like, the White Sox are not going to try to improve the Cubs' chances at a World Series. That just makes
No,
0 sense.
yeah.
And if they were, the Cubs would have to pay more than probably anybody, just because of
Apparently,
the market they share.
they've been talking about Edison Volquez. Texas is targeting him. Not that that's good. I don't know why they want him, but
Right.
I could see KC. I mean, obviously they wanted to sell Davis, so maybe they would sell one of their starting pitching.
Yeah, that was some tough luck on the Royals' part, not being able to get talent back to Davis. But isn't it strange though? Like I mentioned this in one of my silly little podcasts about how windows can close rather quickly. And I'm not
They
saying the
can.
Royals are completely dead, never going to be good anytime soon again. But they went to the World Series 2 years in a row. They won it last year. You're thinking, all right, this year's probably going to be something similar. There'll be a playoff team, and you know, look,
Mm-hmm.
they're looking to sell. Just that quickly, things can change. So,
Right. I mean, you see that with the Pirates too. I mean, they were never division contenders, but they seem to always make the wild card every year.
I mean, it can change quickly with injuries, underperformance. I mean, so I don't blame these teams for going for it,
And
with it
that's
with
why
it.
I'm frustrated with the Cardinals because even though they have some young players, I kind of feel like their window is closing because even with how good the Cubs have been this season, they're just going to get better as their young guys get more playing time.
Hmm.
So I was really hoping they would go for it this year, just stick it to the Cubs one more year before the Cubs become perennial NL Central division champions.
No, they've done that enough. They could use the break. They could use the break. Um, Bob Nightingale tweets about LaCroix, not just the option, but there's probably a good chance that he wouldn't have been the starting catcher for Cleveland next year because of what's his name, Mejia.
Yeah.
So that could have been another factor. How
And
old is
also thinking
LaCroix?
about LaCroix, the Mets are cheap. I don't think they, just like the Indians, I don't think they do it, but I could see Texas doing it.
That's funny. The Mets, cheap in New York. Like I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, they just made the World Series, but I mean, they don't seem to want to spend any money. Obviously, they bought Cespedes, but their lineup is still just a really sorry mess. They have
Yeah, it's home run or nothing.
Cespedes, and that's basically it for the most part.
Yeah, that's why I was so frustrated when the Mets swept them earlier this month. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Like they're home run or nothing. Just not a good offense. And once again, that's another perfect example of everyone had them pegged for the playoffs, and I, at this point, would be surprised if the Mets made it.
Right. I think I had them as World Series repeats. So,
I had them in the playoffs. I know that. So, they've had a ton of injuries. So,
yeah.
another example. Yeah, like Theo. I love Theo obviously, and I'm a homer, but I mean, he had like the perfect quote in regards to the Chapman trade and giving up Torres and stuff. Like he simply said, "If not now, then when?"
Right.
You know,
And
like
with Chapman, you'd like to see him be a little bit better with the media, but as long as he pitches well.
no one will care. Yeah,
Yeah. People only start caring about that stuff in their hometowns if they're playing bad, like a Puig or something.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And what's funny is someone was joking how like the major leagues has had Hispanic players in it for how long, and all these a lot of teams actually don't have Hispanic translators, but they always have Japanese translators.
Yeah, that's true. I
So
mean, O has his in St. Louis.
and so instead that day, it's kind of referring to a Chapman. They shoved out who was it, Henry Blanco, to be the interpreter. Like, here you go. Here's a Hispanic dude we got. Go for it.
Although you think, how good is Aroldis Chapman with his English? I mean, he's been in the
I actually
States.
have no idea. I have no idea. That's what always perplexes me. Like I've always heard Ichiro, for instance, has played coy with how well he really knows English.
Yeah,
Like apparently he's actually pretty good at it.
I was thinking about that. Should be. I wonder is Ichiro starting today? Because obviously he didn't get any hits yesterday, and he's 2 away from
Oh, he's
3,000.
just two now.
Yeah.
I used to love me some Ichiro during his prime, man. He was so
Oh
fun to
yeah.
watch. I can still remember, I don't remember who pitched it, what team, but someone had bounced a fastball to him and he got a base hit off of it.
Right.
It's like he was decided to play cricket for a minute.
And I always found it interesting, the stories about how he just blasts home runs in batting practice, but never does it there. I'd love to just see him like do that once, blast some home runs in a regular game.
Yeah, I always heard he could do that in BP too. Let's see. No, just a bunch of more LaCroix stuff.
Yeah.
I'm see if anyone's over on the website real quick. Nope, it's a ghost town.
Yeah, that's what happens. So when we're on Eastern, well, I'm on Central now, but like, and they're over on Are they on Mountain Time or are they on
Well, it's mountain time, but this time of year, what is this? Daylight savings ended, whatever it is right now, they're actually 3 hours behind.
yeah.
But typically it's only two compared to the East Coast. They have that weird kind of thing going there. Well, do you want to wrap this up? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah,
I,
obviously,
some of
we
the
talked
rumors
about
have
all the
quieted.
deals that have happened so far. It'll be interesting to see anything else that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it should get nuts going forward. But I'm glad we got on here to discuss a little bit. I thought, we went over most of what's gone down, most of what could happen. So we got about 28 hours. I guess it should be fun.
And obviously, the takeaway so far for fantasy owners is you're losing a lot of your good closers.
Yep, pretty much. So hop on your waiver wires and see what you can find
Yeah.
because you might be stuck with some holds right now that you can't use.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me.
Oh, of course, it was fun.
Yeah. Gonna probably turn on the Cardinals game soon. The pregame show should be on soon. So,
Cool, man. Well, enjoy. Check out the Cubs, and I won't be rooting for the Cardinals to lose. Wink, wink.
all right. See you later.
All right, see you later.